So I don't know about you, but me personally, I'm pretty picky with my hair bows. I don't like the tails to be like long and skinny because it doesn't really make my hair look bigger and fuller. And I don't like them to be too short because I do have medium length hair. But I feel like I have concocted a recipe for the perfect shaped crochet hair bow. So I'm going to organize this video by giving you a tutorial in the beginning, and then there will be some customization fun that'll come afterwards. And that is where you'll get to see some of these lovely fun creations. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so what you will need for this project, you'll want a French clip, a 4.5mm hook or a size 7, and some worsted weight yarn. So this is the general layout of the bow. It's made up of 3 panels. We have the head, tails, and this little center tie piece. And we're first going to be tackling the bow head. Now I have this drawn out, and this is mostly a guide to help me. I'll leave it up to visually assist you as well, but I would recommend following along with me because I kind of altered it a little bit from what is on paper. So let's begin. You're going to start with a chain 54. So sorry. Okay. So we did our chain 54. And then the stitches that we're going to work up this chain are what we call an angled mountain. So basically you're starting with single crochets, then working to half double straight to treble, skipping like the double crochet interval, and then going back down the staircase with the double, half double, and single, hence the word angled. So we're starting. Oh, is this a good time to mention this is probably not like a beginner tutorial, because if you try to watch this as a beginner, you're gonna hate me. I'm gonna become the embodiment of that one TikTok that's like trying to follow a crochet tutorial, be like, anyways, chain 1 for the single crochet, and then in the second, ooh, back loop. Oh come on, bestie. Why is this taking me so long? Okay, got it. Single crochet, second single crochet, and third single crochet. Now we're going to work 5 half double crochets, and then going straight to the treble crochets, 5 of each. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now 5 double crochet, five half double crochets, and then 3 single crochet, there we go. So now we are halfway through, and we're going to do a slip stitch to the exact center point, and then we're going to work back up the angled staircase. So exactly what we did, but in reverse. So 3 single crochet, 5 half double, 5 double, five treble, five half double, okay, and then 3 single crochet. Okay, as is typical with me, I accidentally made one too many chains. I always do this. So I'm just gonna kind of unknot this last chain. Ta-da! Never happened. Okay. Now I'm going to work 3 single crochet into this little end cap so that it helps us turn, because we're working just straight over, kind of in a round. We're not turning our work. And then now you can just go ahead and repeat everything you just did and do it for the top. And I will come back to you when we finish that. So we went ahead and finished the first round. So now we can go into the second round, and the second round is exactly what we did for the first. And I'm talking rounds here, not rows. Like this is a row, and the whole thing together I'm referring to as a round. So we're going into round 2, otherwise known as row 3. So once again, I'm gonna go ahead and put 3 single crochets in the end cap. I already had 1. And then, yeah, we're just gonna go all the way down like we did before. Now I will say, pay attention to the fact that because we are increasing each round, sometimes, like you notice right there, I can tell that those there are single crochets, and I can tell that those there are half doubles. So sometimes don't just follow exactly the 3 single crochet. Sometimes you might have to add another, because again, we're increasing every round. So just kind of pay attention. So those are the single crochets, and then I can see where the half double crochets start, and then the pattern will continue as usual. So now we can move on to the 5 half doubles, and then 5 trebles, and so forth. And we're going to do this all the way around again for round 2, rows 3 and 4, and then we will come back when we were done with that. So here we are. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to do a row of just half double crochets and no other stitch around the entire circumference, and I'm actually going to do that twice. So I'm going to go around, put 3 in the end, and then go around the bottom, and put 3 in the end, and then go around, and 3 in the end, and then go around, and then slip stitch at the end and fasten off. And I will show you when I get to that point. I tend not to increase, but if you want, when you get to the tips here of like the staircases, the angled staircases, what you can do, I'll show you just for demonstration purposes, what you can do is do like an increase stitch here, and then do a regular, and then do another increase stitch here, because it does tend to kind of curl a bit. So if you don't want that curl, when you get to like the tips of the mountain, it's not too mathematical. It's kind of just like gauging when you can tell that it's getting a little tight. You can put like 2 increases and then keep going as usual. I hope that makes sense, and I will see you when I'm done with both rounds of half double crochet. Okay, ta-da! Yay! So now we can kind of fold it and see what it's gonna look like. Looks pretty darn cute to me. This isn't required, and it's not permanent either. but I like to weave the tail into where we eventually want it to connect anyways, because when we're going in and we're sewing later to make it all connect permanently, it's still tied together so it's not flopping all over the place. It's just really convenient. So now we're going to start working on the bow tails, and this is like a general layout. I have these all generally drawn out, but they're not perfect, so again, don't refer to just this alone. Be sure to watch what I'm doing. But we're basically just doing a regular staircase. We're working ourselves down from treble to double to half double to the single, and then back up the other side, and there's a chain 3 space in the middle so that it bends. Now, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to add another row that's not pictured here, but I'll show you when I do. So we're going to start with a chain 34. Okay, so there's our chain 34. Then we're going to chain an additional 3 and work a treble crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. And then we're going to work 3 more. And then we're going to work 4 double crochet. And then 4 half double crochet, and then 4 single, and then here's where we are at our halfway point. Okay, so now that we're halfway, I'm going to chain 3. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the same stitch. And that just helps us turn. And then now we're going to repeat the pattern the other way around. So we're going to work 5 single crochet. Did I say 4 single crochet earlier? Did I say 4? Okay, we gotta back that ass up. I meant to say 5 single crochet. I don't know why I said 4. I meant to say 5 single. So there's the first half. We're halfway through. 4 treble, 4 double, 4 half double, 5 single, chain 3, slip stitch into the same stitch, and then why do I consistently always chain 1 too many? Like, I can never chain the right amount. Okay, now this time we're not working in rounds, we are chaining and turning our work. But you did just finish row 1, so you're going to chain 3, and now you just repeat. When I get to the center space, this chain 3 space, I like to work 3 single crochets into the gap. But it's really not that big of a deal. Like, it's not that technically complicated. So you could even just do the 3 singles around if that's easier. I just personally like to work them into the gap because the whole tail ends up staying pretty well angled. Like, it stays this shape, and I like that. So we're going to repeat this 3 times. You're going to have 3 rows of this pattern, and then just like the bow head, you're going to do 2 final rows of just half double crochets. I'll meet you when I finish the first 3 rows of this staircase pattern. Okay, first 3 rows are complete. So now we're just going to chain 2. But we're just going to do all half doubles, 3 singles in the chain 3 space, half doubles, chain 3, and then do it one more time. So yeah, and then we'll work on attaching it to the bow head. Okay, ta-da! We have finished the tail. And because I hate doing this at the end, I'll just go ahead and weave my ends in right now. I don't think this is what weaving in is. I watched a tutorial and the girl was like, okay, now weave in your ends, and she was about to show, and I went, I can do that. Click, and I turned the video off. And then now we'll work on the centerpiece. So we're chaining 4, and then I'm going to crochet another 2. And then I'm going to half double crochet in the 3rd from the hook, and in the remaining chains, of which there should be 3, for a first row total of 4 half double crochet. And then I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to do 3 more rows. So that's what I meant earlier by saying it's a 4x4. Okay, and then I'm gonna slip stitch until I get to the like center of the top. So I'll do 1, 2, 3 slip stitches, and then I'm gonna chain 7. Chaining 7. And then I'm gonna leave a long tail. And we're coming in on this side with some more of our yarn. And we're gonna chain 7 again. The reason I leave a nice hefty little tail is because I like to, before I sew everything together, I like to test my project by just tying everything together. And it'll just be a simple knot, because or not a knot, just a simple little yoink, because I'm probably gonna undo this in a bit so that I can stitch things on. But yeah, that's cute. That's adorable. And I'm going to love that in my hair. Now, normally, what I would do now is I would have flipped this around and I would thread my yarn needle. Where on earth is my yarn needle? Normally what I would do now is I would thread my yarn needle with more of this yarn, and I would just kind of start going crazy. And then I would place the French clip down with the left side open. But first, I need to customize my bow. And this is the plan for this bow. It'll be a machine bow. So let's get started. I have moved to the sofa, obviously. I have my audiobook, and I am just going to sew the cute little pushing face right onto my bow. And yeah, that's it. So it's pushing time. So there's not a whole lot to say about this first one. I have a method of just embroidering designs straight onto my finished crochet projects. I've done this a lot actually. And it works really well and I love it. It takes a lot of practice though to get like the designs looking somewhat decent, because I'm not using embroidery thread, I'm just using yarn.
Daenerys did not flinch.
If you do this at home, maybe get the actual thread designed for this craft. But anyways, I put the little design on there. It looked super cute. I did have the eyes crooked at first and I breathed. I did not crash out, fortunately. And then I fixed it in the morning and this is what it looks like on. But first you get to see a cute little stop motion animation. So yeah, enjoy that. You guys thought it was good, right? Don't tell me it wasn't good. I'll cry. That was my first time trying stop motion. Okay, so let me explain the idea for this next bow. I put out a question prompt and I asked, hey, if you guys were making cute little custom crochet hair bows, what would you do? And you guys give me really good ideas. Like I got so many good ideas and I wish I could do all of them, but I just don't have the time. But maybe in the future I will. I'll do like another one of these videos if you guys like this. I'm getting off topic. Okay, so someone said, get this, a freaking bacon hair bow. Is that not the best idea you've ever heard? So I looked up a tutorial for how to do a zigzag, like a zigzag stripe kind of thing, and I spent a surprisingly like a long amount of time sketching up the different colors. I know that I just have them here on the paper, but like it took me a while to figure out the colors that I wanted for bacon, because bacon's kind of hard because like it looks different cooked from raw, and yeah, okay, I think it translates as bacon. I think it really looks like bacon. I think it turned out pretty awesome. But thank you to the person, shout out to the person on Instagram that gave me the idea for the bacon, because then I was like, okay, what if I did the tops as eggs? And then I'm like, bacon, eggs, this is literally just calcifer. So I made a little felt calcifer, and then I put him on there. Isn't he so cute? Isn't it so cute? And now you guys get another stop motion animation, because obviously you just loved the first one, didn't you? I hope you did. Okay, here's the next one. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of proud of that. Okay, moving on. I was fetching some new yarn for the next project using green and red. What could it possibly be? Drumroll please, ta-da! I'm doing the Very Hungry Caterpillar. This was my idea. I was kind of looking at my greens that I had sitting in my stash, and I was like, what can I do with two shades of green that are kind of different, but not that different? And my mind immediately went to Eric Carle art, because he kind of does that thing where he uses like a bunch of different kind of like hues and shades of the same color, and they're not that different, but it creates this vibrance and this life to it. And the Very Hungry Caterpillar is adorable. So I made the little applique to go on the center. I just freehanded the little circle. It was pretty easy. Then as you can see, I'd use more yarn to embroider on the details. Except this time, get this, I used real embroidery thread, and oh my gosh, when I tell you this stuff was amazing, this stuff was amazing. I'm gonna just spend the extra couple of bucks and use it every time going forward. It was so nice to work with. Yeah, highly recommend. And then I went to attach the French clip, which took me embarrassingly long. It was kind of a struggle, but anyways, I finished it, and I made a stop motion for this one too. And it happened to be Friday, so before I made the animation, I went ahead and ate 5 oranges. If you made it to the end of the video, good job, and thank you so much for sticking around. I'll see you in my next adventure, and thank you for watching.